first thing I want to talk to you about is financial education, because it's a particular passion of mine. I mean, certainly through the work we do at Savello, we sponsor a classroom of kids every year. Funny enough, we didn't do it during lockdown because of the logistics of it. But we've got the budget to sponsor a classroom of kids every year through a financial education program, which we pay for, where we go into a local school, work in partnership with the London Institute of Banking and Finance, and deliver a financial education program at the school. And it's a weird one, because I know that when I was growing up, I knew nothing about money, and I just got lucky that I was involved in an environment where I could learn really quickly. How about you?
So he said to me when I started earning money, put 10% away every month from your paycheck, you won't miss it. But never really followed through on actually doing that for me. He left it up to me, which is fine, and I never did it, so that was my choice. But there's an element of, I think they knew it in the past, but how it was enacted. Because if you think about some of the ways household bills were run, you had the rent pot, the shopping pot. So it was really good financial education, and actually in some respects in that guy, but not necessarily was that passed on directly to us. It was almost like if you saw it and you noticed it, you kind of picked it up. But I just wonder if we ever talked about it. But I think it does work. I think it does work.
I think part of the challenge is money is such a taboo, isn't it? You know,
yes.
Culturally, the challenge we've got is and it's interesting when we look at the world at the minute. You know, we have more adult grown-up conversations about some really important subjects, mental health being one. I mean, we're recording this on the week of Mental Health Awareness Week, really important subject, but we're still not there yet with the subject of money. It's still one of those taboos that we talk about. And certainly when I was growing up, when I think about sort of the conversations my mum and dad had about money, it was either whispered or very loud. As in arguing about it. So what do you learn from that? You know, you learn that it's either a secret or it's something to be annoyed about, not that you can have a rational conversation. And I think to a certain extent, we need to break that taboo with financial education. What would you say about how parents play a part, though?
Well, it starts with us, with our children, to be honest. And I did a video a few months ago where the way we do with the kids here, the boys here, is so because we got a Far Eastern bend to us with my wife, Chinese New Year, they get little red packets of money from lucky money from from the rest of the family, and we get them to write down what they spend. Now, and it's their choice what they spend their money on. One of my kids put some of it away.
Right.
The older one does not. and we say to him, it's your choice. We are saying that we would suggest that you do, and I'm going back to, so we do other things so that they do put money away, but this is their choice. This is their like birthday money. They can do it. So we actually get them on every time they get money is put some away, and then you can spend what the rest of it's on.
Yeah.
And that is your choice. And everything they spend, so whether they have I was going to say the Henry card or anything like that, it's their money that's going on it. So if they spend something and they don't get the value out of it, well, you know, they spent the money. And especially when everything's digital, they kind of, once it's spent, you can't get it back. So we do it with everything they do, and they have the choice to do what they want to do.
I think the models like Go Henry are really interesting, right? Because they do sort of digitize a lot of those habits that we learn really well from. There's like, you know, pocket money for hard work and all of that sort of stuff. I think there's some real value in those sort of teaching our kids those sort of habits. and certainly, you know, Charlotte, Sophie, we haven't done it with, but Charlotte had a go Emery account and learnt about sort of money from that. But it's also giving them the responsibility to make their own buying decisions.
Yeah.
By, you know, my kids are really good at hoarding money, and it's just expecting me to pay for everything so that they can keep their little pots. And part of the education that we're going through is actually in real life, you haven't got somebody who's going to do that. And it's interesting because I have this conversation with some of my younger clients. You know, there's always that balance of wanting to be a good dad, in terms of making sure your kids don't go without. And, you know, there's an argument, I'd agree with, say that that's not about material stuff, but, you know, go with that from a sort of stuff perspective, but also empowering them with a bit of autonomy and a bit of responsibility for their own stuff, and getting that balance right is tough sometimes.
Yeah, but well, I'll give you an example. We've had, well, it's the same example twice with my oldest, with Ben. He wants a VR headset.
Yeah.
The first time round, it was him and his brother. He was going to borrow some money from his brother to buy it, and it was, well, you can do that. That's fine, but you do realise that when William wants to play with it, he's going to ask you. The silence between the parents is amazing. It's like, oh my God, I'm going to let, and I'm thinking that's not going to work. The second time round, he came up to me and he's like, I can afford it. I said, no doubt you can afford it. No doubt with your money and everything else, you can afford it. I found it. I'm going to buy it. Okay. I said, let me just ask you a question. He went, okay. So when will you play it? Because not that you can afford it or you can earn it, right? I said, but where's the time to play it? I said, you go to school 5 days a week. There's no games in the evenings. You do tennis on the weekends. You do other stuff with us on the Sunday. You school, and it's like, and you can. And I said, I think I've got it down to about Sunday afternoon is probably the consistent time you've got free. And you can see him going, and you could see the kind of frustration and everything else. But it's like the money's one part of this, and the education of the money is you can earn it. You've done this, great. But the flip side of it, how you spend your money in relation to what time you have available to you, and actually linking the fact that actually the thing that's most valuable to you is how much time you have. And you could just see this 14-year-old just kind of go from frustrated to, well, that's a good point actually. And today we have no VR headset.
But again, it's that education of time as a value as well. You know, like we don't learn the value, and as business owners we need to develop that skill because our time is valuable, and we need to make really important decisions about what to do for free, what to do for the potential to develop and grow our business, and what to do to earn a living. And it's getting that balance right that nobody teaches us the skills. Even, I mean, you know, we're both professional people, Raymond. I'm a really, really good financial planner. Nobody taught me how to run a business when I started.
No.
And it's that sort of skills that are interesting to learn. And actually, I think teaching kids entrepreneurship is actually a good place to start. I'll just tell you one quick story. A few years ago, we're driving, we're on a holiday in France, and Charlotte says to me, Dad, can we have a dog? And I was like, I didn't want to say no, because she was 8 at the time, super sweet. Sophie's like in a car seat, she's a baby. Cass and Charlotte have been lobbying me to get this dog for ages. And I thought, right, here's a smart idea. I'm not going to say no, but I'm going to put some sort of really ambitious targets on this financially so that it will never happen. So it's right, okay. So if we buy a dog, I want you to make sure that you can buy the dog, cover the first year's worth of vet's bills, and make sure. And let's say that's £500, right? Yeah. If you can sort of accumulate that amount of money, in a, you know, by the end of the year, and I think this was at the start of the year, you can go and get the dog, right? So I was like, I thought, Raymond, I thought I was home free, right? I thought this is never going to happen. I'm never going to need to worry about this dog again, and that's fine. I mean, just to add a bit of flavour to the story, the conversation started at Christmas time because Cassie and I didn't think we could have any more kids when Charlotte was born because of some medical issues that was going on, and 8 years later, Charlotte says, Dad, you know what I really want for Christmas? I want a little sister. And I was like, okay, not going to happen. And then literally sort of 9-10 months later, Sophie was born, right? So the following Christmas, when Charlotte asked for a dog, and I said, that's not going to happen, she went, I know, but you said that about the sister, didn't you? So I was really like I was really against the wall. So I set this financial limit, 500 quid. If you achieve it, then we can do it. Yeah. And she baked cakes. She car washed. She really put the effort in and got to all the Christmas money, all the birthday money, everything went into this collective pot. And she got to the 500 quid. And I don't know whether I was proud of her, annoyed at me for setting a low limit. I should have said 1,000, shouldn't I? Annoyed at me for setting a low limit, but super proud of her from what she'd learned on that journey about, you know, having a goal, having a target, having a clear aim, and then working in an incremental way towards it with like sort of doing different stuff to get there. Yeah. And so I think some of the lessons we teach our kids, good and bad, are sometimes accidental like that, aren't they?
They are, and it's really interesting the way when you talk about a story, that it really does show, and a lot of business owners could really learn from this one. When you set yourself a financial target and you want something, what you do is you go back to how you can earn that money. Now that is learning new things, doing things, learning things, improving your skills and your knowledge and building on your experience, because that's what kids are really good at. If you set them a target and you say to them, right, that's where we want to go, they go back and they go, right, how do I achieve that? And if I don't know how to achieve it, if I've never washed a car in my life, I'm going to find out how to wash a car. Yeah. Because it's that which generates the money.
But how much of what holds us back is about mindset?
Yes.
How much it holds us back is that phrase, I can't afford it. Not how can I afford it, potentially, but I can't afford it. Because then you're just putting a block on that aspiration immediately, aren't you? Yeah. And maybe reframing it in a way of, like, I can't afford it now, but how can I plan for it so that I can do it in the future? Yes. Then allows you to take those incremental actions and move forward.